Elmore starts us off. What's up, Bobby?
Yes, Mike. Happy holiday.
Yeah, what's up?
Before I get to the Pats, none of the Ball brothers hasn't won a high school championship, and we know how Ball played in the tournament game. It got destroyed 36-6 by Fox. So, I mean, they are overrated. Anyway, you mentioned about the Pats. Which team has that inside pass rush that could beat them? I don't know.
Right now, I don't think there's. I don't like the matchups for any of these teams. Everyone's looking at Pittsburgh to be the team this year. Pittsburgh does not match up well against New England. They just don't. And they'll play them on the 17th. Whether they beat them on the 17th or not, I don't know that they'll go back and beat them again in the postseason. And Pittsburgh's got a really good team. They have a very, very good offense. They have an offense that the Pats are not going to stop. But if you've watched the history of Brady against the Steelers, he has owned them. He has literally dissected them and embarrassed them with their passing game. I just completely spread them out and embarrassed them. So unless you see something change radically there, it's never changed. Just like Kansas City can't play against Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh kills them with the running game. They have had no success against Tom Brady. So do I see a team in the AFC right now? I told you the best pass rush. That the pass rush that would give them the most trouble would be Jacksonville. But I just don't think Jacksonville, the rest of the team, is of enough quality to win the game, even though they could give him a fit. I just don't know. First of all, I don't even know if they'll be there in that spot. But they would be, because they can get to the quarterback. And they could provide what you got last year out of Merciless and Clowney, who really drove Tom crazy in that playoff game. You got to be able to get pressure, especially a gap pressure against him, or you're just not gonna get him off his game. You've got to get him off his spot and off his game because he does rattle. But it's that's the only way to get him. You're not going to get him with coverages. You're not going to get him with blitzes. You got to get him with a regular pass rush. John in Westchester, what's up, John?
Yeah, Mike, am I on?
Yeah, you're on. What's up?
Yeah, you're on.
You got to get a better line, though, if that's the problem. Sonny in Malvern, what's up, Sonny?
Hey, Mike, Jacksonville's defense can do that, but the problem is they're missing a quarterback.
Yeah, they don't have the complete team. I agree. I just say they have the pass rush, though. They're the only one that I think that's in there that has that pass rush.
Yeah, that's why you heard those Eli rumors, which were ridiculous. But they need a quarterback like that. They need a solid quarterback to go further. Anyway, Giants this weekend, they're in a really tough spot, Mike, but Washington's one of the most unpredictable teams. And Giants defense is playing well. I don't know if you heard Collins. I think got defensive player of the week. He made 15 tackles, I think, last week and an interception. But it goes to show you it's all effort. I don't know where he was, the whole season.
The biggest factor in that game, by far, was the wind. If there was no wind, they don't win that game. They don't win that day. I'm telling you, that Kansas City team would have caused matchup problems for the Giants all over the field, but they could not throw the ball. I mean, they could not play in that way. He could not throw in that wind, and that was the biggest factor in that game. But I think the Giants have a chance against Washington, especially if they can run the ball a little bit. They're going to have some success running the ball, because if they don't, they're not going to be able to pull the Redskins out of what will be very easy coverages for them to play.
Plus, Mike, the problem with the Giants is I think Fluker's out, and I think Shepard's probably not going to play.
Fluker's out and Pugh's out, too. They're both out. So their offensive line is going to be a problem. Washington can cause problems there, and I think they've got to have some success running the ball. If they do, they can make it a very competitive game, no question.
Mike, as far as the anthem, why can't they, I mean, if Goodell had a pair, why can't during the offseason they say, listen, we're enforcing the rule next year. Next year, you have to stand on the sidelines. Why can't they just enforce it during the offseason, give them plenty of time to take it all in, and then, go from there?
Well, he can, but that's not what they're talking about doing. He can do it. I mean, he can try it to see how it works, see what the reaction is. But what they're talking about doing is just taking it out of the play, just putting it in and not having the teams on the field. Play the anthem at 12:45 and. We're right around there, and have the players inside when they don't have the team on the field yet. So that's what they're talking about. But that's not an answer. That's running away from a problem. So I don't like that at all if that's the case. And again, they haven't voted on this. This is just leaking out in a couple of spots that this is being discussed internally by owners. It has not been something they've made public statement on. It's not something that It's been clearly leaked, but it's not something that is officially on the docket for the winter meetings or anything else yet. But there is a thought that it will be brought up and talked about at the winter meetings as a solution to the problem, which I don't think it is. John in Jersey, what's up, John?
Hey, Mike. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. What's up?
Hey, just something on the anthem, and then I love the interview with Gibbs yesterday. I got a question about that. With the anthem, how come it never spread into the other sports, Mike? How come it didn't go to baseball and basketball?
Basketball, it didn't go to basketball because Silva has a great relationship with his players, and he dealt with it head on. It didn't go to baseball because baseball has a very, very small African-American population of players. They are less than 10% of the players, and that's why it was never a factor in baseball.
Got it. Now, with Gibbs, I love the interview. I think he's such a class act, Gibbs. But when you said that he won 3 Super Bowls, you said 2 of those Super Bowls were strike-ridden years.
Yes.
Mike, what does that mean? I'm going to hang up. What does a strike-ridden mean?
Meaning that they didn't play full schedules.
Thanks, Mike. But did he have replacement players?
Well, 1 year was replacement. 1 year they missed 1 game. The other year they made the 3 games count with the replacement players. Both years were Redskins championships. They won in both strike years. The 2 years where they did not play a regular schedule, where the league was interrupted by problems between the players and the owners. In those years where there was strife, where there was problems between management and the players, where they were arguing, in those 2 years, his team won. That says something. In years where the players were unhappy, he unified his teams in those years and won. Now, one thing his team did, which he gave his front office credit for, going out and getting the best players during the strike. The Giants were of the opinion, very strongly, that the 3 games were not going to count. And they did not try, if you remember. They were getting beat by 30 and 40 points. They did not have a team. They did not coach a team. They did not have any players. They did not sign any players. They put a team out there, but it was a team that couldn't compete. And they thought the games were not going to count. When the games counted, remember, they were already 0-3. They're coming off a Super Bowl. They were 0-3. They could have rallied from 0-3. They could not rally from 0-6. So you told the Super Bowl champs, your season's over. You're coming back from this strike, and your season is over. So that team was furious. Their coach was furious. And George Young had egg on his face because he was the one saying, these games aren't going to count. And they did count. And he didn't prepare. He didn't go out and get players. I can remember Parcells standing on the sideline getting beat by Walsh in the replacement game, 44-3. They're running, double reverses on the Giants, and the Giants didn't have any players. So the Redskins took it seriously. The Niners took it seriously. The Giants didn't. The Giants didn't think the games would ever count. And they counted the games. And it really made that team angry. Now, that Giant team, as angry as they were, had so much talent that they still went 6-3 the rest of the way in real games and went 6-9 that year. Remember, that was a 15-game schedule. They went 6-9. For the season, they were 6-9. On the field, they were really 6-6. But remember, the 0-3, that was, they were 0-3 in strike games. So the 6-9 for the year, they were really 6-6 on the field. But they were 6-3 after they opened 0-6. They went 6-3 the rest of the way. But it was too late. They were dead. And I can remember when they were told that the games were going to count, they were nuts. Absolutely nuts. David Huntington, what's up, Dave?
Hey, Mike, thanks for taking my call. A couple of things real quick. First of all, to you and your family and to everyone listening, happy holidays.
Thank
Safe
you.
out there driving.
Thank you. Thanks. Good.
Second thing is, I agree with you 100% about how bad the NFL has screwed this whole flag thing and the protests up. But the one thing I wanted to say is I think there's, in terms of toning down the criticism and how people feel about it, if they, you have hypocrisy there. If the people go to the bathroom during the anthem,
what's the point? What's the point of fixing it though? You just said you have a way to fix it. How do you fix it?
No, I don't have a way to fix it per se. I'm just saying I think that some of the criticism of the players and the owners and the whole thing, there's unless they stop everything and everybody stands at attention. They're still selling beers. They're still doing this. They're still doing that.
Nobody sells beers during the national anthem. That's not true. Nobody is pouring beers during the national anthem. That's not true. They don't do it. You get fired if you did that. Everyone stands at attention that I see. All right, maybe somebody talks and shouldn't do that. Maybe somebody is walking and it comes in and they keep walking to their seat. We probably shouldn't do that. But nobody is selling beers in the middle of the national anthem. If they did, you'd be in a lot of trouble. Here's Mr. Met.